Now I thought that 10 minutes ago I'd gone live. But I hadn't gone live. I hadn't gone live. So I was just sitting here talking and welcoming everybody, and I was punching in these weird things into the chat. And people are probably like, what the heck is that? So anyhow, mouthsweaterww@gmail.com. That's the guy. His name is Tom. That's the guy that made the sign that's behind me, and I just talked about it, but I wasn't actually live. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not actually live. Like, what the heck? David is just typing notes to himself in the chat. And on Instagram, it's mouthsweaterww. Now we had this huge joke going between my brother and I, coming up with alternate names. Like, I don't know why you would name your business mouthsweaterww, but artistic people are like this. I don't know, but artistic people are this way. They come up with these like really weird names, like, dude, that is so artistic and crazy. And so anyhow, he has the CRT machine, and his name is Tom Barron, and so I posted his Instagram and his Gmail if anybody's interested in doing like a sign thing like this one I have behind me. For Good Books Publishing. My brother gave that to me when he was in town. So, yeah, I know, mouth sweaters. I don't get it. So my brother and I were coming up with some alternate names. Nose Parker, maybe, would be a good name for a business. My brother said Slarty Bart Fast. That is low-hanging fruit. I said Dingle Fur might be a nice one. Moldy Ham. Tonsil Sale. Lip Knees, Swole Tongue, Gas Pretzel, Lung Bags. Buy my stuff. I'm on Instagram at Kidney Stoner. No, anyhow, so I'm sorry, Tom. Look you do really nice work. But this is the David the Good channel, and I'm hard on everybody. At least you're not a vegan. Oh, he is a vegan. I'm sorry. I really like your work. I'm teasing you. I am teasing. This is great. Hey, there we go. Knee cozies. Oh my gosh. That's a good one. Butter Knuckles. Artistic people. So Good Books is Good Books Publishing. This is my new publishing house. It's one of the reasons I haven't been doing very well at this whole live streaming thing lately. Another reason is that I have been going to the gym 3 times a week, and that has been consuming a couple of hours on 3 different days. I've also been trying to spend some more time with the family and read the Bible together more, and singing hymns, and it's been wonderful. Trying to learn new hymns is interesting. You know, there's like the hymns that I grew up with singing in church, and then, you know, Rachel keeps finding these hymns, and she's like, the lyrics on this one are great, we should learn it. I'm like, oh gosh, we have to learn it? I mean, it's like learning the rules to a new game. It's like, do I really want to learn it? But then once you learn it, you're like, oh, I know that one. It's great. I love that tune. It's fantastic. But learning it is, it takes work. So anyhow, I have been very, very busy. I'm also launching a plant nursery again. Well, I'll give a proper announcement on that soon, but there's a video. I mentioned it in the video that I'm going to be posting tomorrow, which is actually processing out right now on my computer. When that comes out, you'll see what I'm doing, but it's not launched yet. You can't buy anything from me yet. I don't have my license yet, but I am going to do it again because I love it so much. So, hers and hims and thems. Sean, stop it. It's too much. This is a gardening channel. Scott says we do a hymn of the month at church each month. By the end of each month, we've added a new familiar hymn to the repertoire. Also, for those of you who have noticed that I've gotten fat, people haven't really said it like that. They've said, like, you've gained weight, which means, like, you're getting chunky, aren't you, dude? Did you pick up that Alabama 20? Yes, I am up in Grenada. When I was on the island at this time last year, I was 153 pounds. I am 180 now. However, it's not just because I'm fat. It's because I've been actually pushing it really, really hard. And I've been trying to eat a lot more calories in order to bulk up on the muscle. This is an experiment. You know how I like to do experiments? Like, what was it? I don't know, it was a year and a half or 2 years ago or something. I went totally carnivore, like 40 days of eating nothing but meat. Just as an experiment. When I was younger, I went completely vegetarian for a while. There have been times I've experimented with all kinds of different diets. I kind of like what can we do? What can we hack? But it's been quite interesting because I found out the reason, in the past, that when I worked out hard, like when I was building and I was working out very hard, I wasn't actually eating enough. I wasn't eating enough calories, and so my brother told me, he's like, you've got to eat more. And a couple of people said, you got to eat way more. You have to make yourself eat. You can't just do this thing where you eat some, eggs for breakfast and then you go for 8 hours. If you want to go to the gym and build, you'd better be eating a lot. So what's happened is I've gained a good bit of muscle, but I've also gained some fat at the same time. And now what I'm supposed to do is do some sort of a cutting thing, which doesn't sound like any fun, and stop eating all the potatoes that I've been hauling in from the garden. So, yeah, that's funny. But it's kind of interesting. Like here we go. Here we go. Look at that. See? That's muscle. That's muscle, and I got a little bit of breast meat now. It's amazing. But it's kind of a weird feeling to be this big. I haven't been this big in I don't know. Gosh, probably almost a decade or something. I used to work out regularly 10 years ago when I hurt my shoulder. That was before I was even on YouTube. And then the easiest thing for me has always been to just not eat that much and stay lean. That's kind of what I've gone for. But yeah, it is pretty interesting. I have not heard of Chef AJ and Starch Solution, but I can look it up. That's cool. Thank you. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's been an interesting experiment, but I have noticed I've been able to pick up more weight and push more weight every week, I guess. I'm pressing. When I started pressing, I know some of you guys are gonna laugh at this because you're like super strong and stuff. But when I started doing the chest presses with dumbbells, I just did 35 pounders. A 35 pounder in each hand. You lay on the bench and you push, right? And you push, and I would do 5 sets of 6, and now I'm up to 55 pounds month and a half later. So it's like, there we go. It's working. Oh, thank you, Mad Jeeper. I'll turn it up a little bit. Yeah, welcome to your 40s. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm trying not to sing along with Alanis Morissette so people can't figure it out. It's like rain. No, I meant I got the moves like Jagger. Or was that one old too? Whatever. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me see if I can boost it right here. How's that? That should help a little bit. The digging workout. Yeah, I don't drink any beer anymore. I used to drink beer some time ago, and it just doesn't sit well. I don't like it that much. Actually, I don't really drink much alcohol, though I did have some bourbon last night. And a friend, somebody asked, what happened to the cigar lady that was on your wall? Well, the cigar lady on the wall has gone to the cigar lady. My beautiful friend Margaret now owns it. They were working on buying a house. They bought their house, so I brought it over as a housewarming gift. So it's gone. It is gone. I gave it away. Well, thank you guys. So now I'm sure you don't hear about my workout routine and like all the protein powder and the 5x5 and some of the bro science I've been working on. So let's talk about like gardening and stuff instead, because this is the gardening channel. I mean, we like to get buff. We like to work hard. We like to push. Train insane or stay the same. If it doesn't stretch you, it doesn't build you. But so thank you. But good books. Good books. We'll go to good books now. Since you mentioned, I like the good books on the wall, Petter. Thank you. Good Books Publishing. Good Books Publishing is my publishing house, and I am working. The cool thing, okay, I am going to publish a book by Steve Solomon, which is like the most awesome thing in the entire world, and we should be making an announcement on that and getting it out and everything in a few months. I'm also going to be publishing some books by John Moody, who is a very good writer, and I am going to be republishing my own books. I'm being held up right now because we're in the middle of transferring some things over to the new publishing house. So that's going to it's just takes time, formatting a book and all that is a lot of work. So I have, let me think. I've got 2 books that are written and not published right now. I've got the second Jack Broccoli novel, which is written but not published. I'm waiting on that. And then I have the Create Your Own Florida Food Forest, which has almost all of the illustrations done and in, and it's just not been done yet. So it's just waiting. It's just waiting until we can get everything transferred over. And I got a good friend working on the relaying them all out correctly and everything. So it's coming. Hey, Karen, nice to see you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Fantastic. It's good to see you. So Karen, I just said I'm starting a nursery again. So the other thing I'm doing, I will post a video tomorrow showing the little nursery setup that I'm doing. I'm working on getting the all the stuff together for that. And when I am up and selling, and I'll probably be selling at some markets around the area, and I'll let everybody know, hey, you want to come meet me at the market? I'm going to be selling. I'm not going to sell out of my backyard because it just doesn't seem like a good idea to be that, I don't want that much exposure to the world. I'd like to keep my potatoes. But anyhow, so I'm gonna be working on the nursery thing. I've been out like doing a lot of propagation stuff lately, so that's been fun. Got some cool stuff. Daniel says, could you possibly recommend a tomato variety for the 5B/6A that you've had success with? I was in 6/7. We had luck with Roma tomatoes, just regular old Romas. We had good luck with those. We had luck with the beef steaks. I mean, we had luck with a lot of different varieties. The problem, I can't tell you exactly which varieties because I got them all out of a dumpster. Seriously. I was dumpster diving behind Kmart, and they had thrown out their entire display of tomatoes because there had been a late frost and some of them had gotten a little burned, and they just threw out entire flats of tomatoes. We're talking hundreds of tomato plants. So I went in the dumpster and I pulled them all out, and I loaded up my car and I planted tons of them in my yard. So yeah, we had, I remember Black Crim was one that did pretty well. I remember we had that one, but I think we had Better Boy and Early Girl and all pretty much the common stuff. But that 5-6 is pretty nice because once you get spring, you do get kind of a longer, cooler season without it being too hot. Down here where I am, the tomatoes give up. By June, they're pretty much roasted and not happy. True's Food Forest and Edible Landscaping says, have you tried growing Musa velutina? Yes, it's a velutina. The pink banana, yes, I've grown it from seed. and I used to have a couple. R.I.P. Rip Dynacola says, David, do you have any experience growing mayhaw trees? I have one mayhaw in my garden right now, but that's all the experience I have. It's just sitting there doing, so. Yeah, thank you. Just keep planting with Nemo. Your illustrations were nice. I appreciated those. Drew says, I'm using your plant nursery book you wrote as a guidebook. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, another great thing, Mackenzie says, start with a Roma tomato. It's determinate and very easy to deal with. One of the great things about Romas is that they don't have as much, water in them. So when you process them down into sauce, they make really good sauce. Super good sauce, because they actually have denser flesh. They're a canning tomato. Super good. A mayhaw is any number of plant species that they're related to apples. They are rather like they're in the Rosaceae family. The mayhaws are there's like parsley leaf mayhaw. There's some dry land ones in Florida, and there's a lot of more damp land ones. The fruits are pretty kind of hard and sour, and usually used for jams, jellies, that sort of thing. Benjamin says, I have Musa velutina seeds. They haven't sprouted yet. Been in the pots for 170 days. How long did your take? Okay, I'll tell you what I did. That's a long time. I would say those are probably not going to come up. But what I did was, now I don't see anybody saying to do this, but what I did when I grew them was I got the seeds, and they're really hard. So I took a pair of fingernail clippers, and I took them and I nipped the corners off of all the seeds. I nicked a little hole in them, and I soaked them in warm water. Overnight they soaked, and then I planted them in a warm spot in a little tray, and they were up in about 2 to 3 weeks. Now they'll say that they take a long time, but I found when I nicked them and soaked them overnight, broke dormancy. So, Rosehaven, you're up north. Our favorite tomatoes, Madison County Pink, Mortgage Lifter, German Johnson, Giant Belgian. Those will sound great. My Mortgage Lifters did not work out for me. All right, so let's see. What else is going on? Well, I own a little bit of Dogecoin. At a nickel. I put $200 into it when it was a nickel. It's probably crashed back down to that now. I don't even know. That was fun to watch. Benjamin says, were yours fresh? Mine were from a seed packet. Yeah, mine were fresh. I got them from a guy who had them growing in his yard, and he gave me one of the fruits. So it was like right away. Right away. Yeah, to the moon. That's right, Kelby. Hey, Kelby, you were asking about bananas. Where, depending on what climate you're in, I didn't catch what climate you're in if you mentioned it. 60K Doge! Dude. I think I have 3,300 Doge. Grabbed a bunch of trees from Scrubland Farms a few weeks ago. Our new fruit trees and our Rachel Goodman mulberry is doing well on the front fence line. Fantastic. They are the only one that carries the Rachel Goodman mulberry. And that is cool. David says, you ever grow pawpaw from seed? Yes, multiple times. I actually have a round going right now. You have to get the fresh seeds and don't let them dry out. Put them in some slightly moist potting soil or peat moss or something and stick them in your fridge for like 5 months. So basically you get the fruits in October, November that are fresh, take the seeds out, rinse them off, put them into any kind of like a soil medium. I like sterile soil mediums like potting soil. Slightly moist, stick it in the fridge, just leave it. I should sell that Doge and buy something else, but I don't know. I got a friend who's like, man, it's going to 10K. I'm like, I doubt it, but Look at everything is a joke right now. Do you understand? The entire economy, the entire political system, everything is a joke at this point. You can't just print trillions and trillions of dollars. Gosh, why is lumber so expensive? I don't know. Did somebody print a few $1 trillion? Oh my gosh. So, mid-90s, that's rough. Mad Jeeper says, David, I planted 2 apple trees 3 years ago that were about 5 feet tall. They're both growing great, but only one of them has blossomed for the past 2 years. Do you think it will come back? I don't know what you mean by come back. If it's only one of them has blossomed. It doesn't sound like it's dead. I mean, if it's not blooming, I don't know. I'm not understanding. One of them's maybe not blooming. Everything was a joke and always was. Always was. That's right. Hey, Jeff. Nice to see you again. I think the supply lines are all busted up. Yeah, silver is the only thing that hasn't gone up this year. Silver is real money, but silver is heavily manipulated. I mean, if you go read the Wall Street Silver page on Reddit, it's highly entertaining. People are starting to realize, like, wait a minute. Silver is not exploded. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because banks have sold tons of paper silver. Maybe there's massive contracts that are trying to keep it crushed down. Maybe you should buy it now before all the physical disappears. So, if you had a few extra bucks, it's probably not a bad idea. Drew says, I have 25 cacao trees, 1 ice cream bean tree, and 7 blackberry jam plants. I don't know blackberry jam, but the ice cream bean, man, that is a cool one. Cacao is hard to grow. Good work, Karen. Better not talk about it, Sawyer. That's a good way to get my channel dropped. But you can make your own guesses on that. David says, I grow pawpaws in zone 9A. See, pawpaw, like Asamina triloba, can't confuse it with papaya, Carica papaya. But, you know, the furthest south that I saw Asamina triloba, the true pawpaw, which grows all the way up. I mean, in Ohio, they have a pawpaw festival. That's a great fruit. It's like a tropical fruit that grows in a temperate climate. But the furthest south I know of it growing well and fruiting was in the Gainesville area. So it may go a little further down than that. So, yeah, it's there are, however, more southerly varieties that are native to Florida. If you look up, you know, I'm gonna write one down for you. Asamina parviflora. Check that one out. That is a Florida native one, if you can find it. It has a smaller fruit, but it's a good edible fruit. I've got Asamina triloba that I put in. I've got a tray of them, or containers, a bunch of containers planted out right now that I'm waiting on them. It's going to happen. You know, you plant them and then you wait a few months for them to come up. First you stick them in the fridge for 4 or 5 months, and then you plant them, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait. So. Joe says, I wonder if pawpaws would grow here in central Mexico. You know, I reckon that those pawpaws are just needing a little bit of chill to fruit. Little chill to fruit. But I don't know. Experiment and see how it goes. Lots of times people just don't try. I don't know if fear is why. Seems to me the best thing you can do is just try and see what's true. You know, there's a guy growing apple trees in Africa. You can't do that, or so they say, or so they say. The only thing you can do is try. Just try. Benjamin says, I have a gold finger in a pot, but soonish it will need to be put in the ground. All my dirt is like a super clay. Do you think if I amended the small hole with the 50-50 compost, I could plant? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And if you have problems with, with clay, you can always break it up and mound it up a little higher. Go taller. So the drainage goes away from it. You can make a mound and plant on a mound. Zachary says, will God be mad if I graft a blood orange onto a bear's lime? I don't think so. I can't imagine why. Grocery store taters hate science. Yeah, Noah says it probably work in higher altitudes. Yeah, that's it. Higher altitudes. So try it out, dudes. Maybe you'll get all of your chill on the top of a hill. Higher altitudes, just try it out, dudes. Yeah. Oh, papaya, it's too bad those don't grow here. I could see someone's read my books. No, Tammy, you have papaya trees in Virginia? That takes some work. You prayed over it, I think you're safe. Yeah, I mean, the Lord does say that he grafts, he grafted wild grapes onto the vine. So some grapes are grafted in, some are not, so there's nothing wrong with grafting. You're fine. I wouldn't worry about that one. Stick to the big stuff, like not coveting your neighbor's wife. Drew says, I have tons of okra growing around. Cowhorn and burgundy. Dang, you remind me, I've got some cowhorn okra. I think I've got the seeds over there, and I actually need to plant them. Man. I mean, I have a big garden, but it seems like I never have enough space. She didn't say they were living papaya trees. Rosehaven Farm says, any recommendations for nursery to get good pawpaw trees? Pawpaws do not do really well on transplanting, usually. If I were you, I would try to get seeds from somebody and start them. They don't really take too long from seed. I mean, you can get them from nurseries, but I would look for local nurseries that have them in pots rather than trying to get shipped ones. Their survival rate is so-so. Noah says, I bought a starfruit from Pete Canaris. David, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I got a starfruit from Pete Canaris. Pete is the man. He's got starfruits on his land. He's got everything a gardener needs. He's got alley crop experiments. He's got food forests too. Give up, see what Pete can do for you. Good. There we go. Scott says pawpaws are not good from gurneys. You know, not much is good from gurneys. Just Fruits and Exotics has grafted ones from Florida. That's interesting. I wonder if Pete Canaris has pawpaws. He's a little south for that, but he has a lot of stuff, I've heard. So, the other one is oh, son of a gun. What is that? What is that one? That little farm in like Fruitland Park area? A Natural Farm. Any apples that do any good in 9B West Central Florida? That's a lot of caps, Deanna. Is there any apples that do any good? Well, they grow me some food in 9B West Central Florida. Okay, that's enough of that. I don't know. It's something in the tea. It said like passion on it. I think it's too much passion in this tea. Passion. I don't know if you can see that. There's the passion tea from Tazo. This lifestyle moment has been sponsored by. I'm an influencer. Okay, so any apples that do any good in 9B West Central Florida? Well, the official answer is Anna apples, Golden Dorset apples, and Ein Shemer apples. EIN space SHEMER. It's a variety from Israel. Those are the three that will be recommended to you. However, I have talked to people that have had experience growing other varieties, including Granny Smith and Gala. So, apples don't get exactly the chill hours that apples love there, but you can do some funny things like stripping the leaves off to induce blooming and stuff like that. So, you know, it's worth doing. So it's experimental. Yeah, Scott says check out Cuffle Creek Nursery online. I own the Cuffle Creek book. What's his name? Mr. Heiser. I think his name is Heiser. Cannot remember his first name, but anyhow, growing apples in the tropics. I bought it. It's useful. It's very interesting. Sorry, lots of coffee. Is that better? You're awesome, Deanna. Clicked for the clickbait, stayed for the good. Yeah, you see the bananas? They clickbait. The clickbait thing. That picture. My kids did that. One of my kids labeled the bananas on the counter like that for us to find because I thought it was funny. Zachary says, you're an influencer. I now have 16 fruit trees in my front and backyard with moringa here and there in clusters. It's pretty funny. John says, I'm live at the same time as Cast Iron Chaos. I don't know who that is, but if they're as amazing as we are, well then, jumping back and forth, that's cool. See you, Sawyer. Jujube is not bad. I've had some jujubes that were pretty good, and then I had some jujubes that were pretty lousy and grainy. So, I'm not sure, S. Walker. And hello, Marcus Aurelius. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. Hey, Sue says, I have cukes on the vine in my hanging baskets. See, look at, there's like so many songs in here. How can we stop the passion? We can't. I've got cukes on the vine in my hanging baskets. So far, so good. I got cukes on the vine in my hanging baskets. Good job, Susie. I'd say Sue's far, Sue's good. Yeah. Jujubes are not bad. David the Good 2021, one of the biggest endorsements of all time. I'm David the Good, and I endorse this message. I approve this message. Jujubes are Kinda edible. Vote Jujubee. Is David the Good your Dungeons and Dragons name? No, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. That's how you get demons. Gosh, I learned that from Adventures in Odyssey in the 80s. You don't play Dungeons and Dragons. Demons will take you over. It's a fake out for a neutral evil character. I just put in 20 currents today. So currently you have 20 currents. I don't even think you have to say today if you have 20 currents. I still have 5 in a kiddie pool. See, there's another song lyric right there. Please don't stop the music. Yeah, so it's been a busy few months. I was thinking I'm gonna, look at all these great subscribers I have. Look at all these wonderful people. Look at all these members I have. You have to roll a nat 20 to get a demon? Yeah, with my luck, roll like double demons or something. Anyhow, this I was like, look, I got all these subscribers, I got all these great members, I should be doing these live streams. I'm gonna do live streams every day. But then things got a little busier. And, if you don't do it every day, if you do one and then you're like, I'll try to do one tomorrow, and then you don't do it, and then it's like, well, it's the next day, nobody's really expecting it. I might as well just keep going, And then next thing you know, you don't have any friends. People leave your channel. People go watch Cast Iron Avengers or whatever it is, or, you fall behind. You become yesterday's news. You get fat. People are like, David the Good. David the Good. Who was that? That was that guy. That was that kind of gawky guy with the... where was he? He was in Jamaica or something. He did the... gosh, it's been a long time. Yeah. Didn't he like accidentally shoot himself with a nail gun 300 times? No, that was that banker. David the... Yeah. We used to listen to Alanis Morissette, and I think David was on the 8-track. I don't know. David the Pretty Okay. It's done. Scott says, can you grow sweet potatoes under tomatoes as a ground cover? Understory, tomatoes are real tall. I'm doing it right now, so I would say yes. Things do run into each other, but what happens usually is that the tomatoes are petering out and the sweet potatoes are just really starting to take off, and it works out fine. I would do it. I love doing those, the back and forth. Sweet potato vines might climb with the tomatoes, but probably not if they're a little taller. What are you talking about, trifecta soil? I don't know what trifecta soil is. This is that's a lot of repeated trifecta soils. Sean, as a Calvinist, I'm going to tell you, if you lost your friend was never your friend to begin with. You can't lose a friend. That friend was never your friend to begin with. David the Digger. I hope nobody will forget. He dug his own grave with that video. That was when David the Good jumped the shark. Jumping the shark, that's what they say. They say he jumped the shark. That's when, something's going and everybody's like, hey, I love this thing. And then they jumped the shark. And he just jumped that shark. He jumped the shark. He dug the shark. He just dug a big hole and he put a shark in it. And he just jumped in into the hole. And he basically buried himself in. Shark ate him. That was David the Good. That was a long time ago, though. Nobody's talking about him now. It's over. So I have no idea. Trifecta soil. I think that Terrapreda. Terrapreda. I say it 3 times. I don't even know what it means. That's funny. I did an update on it, 2 weeks ago. Look at this. You won't believe this. Transform your garden with this one weird trick. I don't know. It was some nonsense. But you have to see this. I did an update on it. It is growing like crazy. It looks beautiful. Tetrapreda. That's a type of fish. It's going well. It's still the absolute best place in the garden. Nothing has changed since I did that video. So, no, it is impressive. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my landlord about it because he was completely impressed with it. He's like, "Whoa!" I said, "Dude, we need a backhoe. Don't you need a backhoe?" And he's like, "Yeah, we kind of could use a backhoe." Yeah, could you buy a backhoe? Could we put a backhoe attachment on the tractor? Well, I think you should just leave a backhoe over here. As I'll tell you, the soil is actually really hard to dig here. I mean, I don't mind digging, but that's a lot of digging. A lot of digging. And so he said what we could do is rent a little excavator, like for a couple $100 and get it over the weekend and get it for like, 3 days or something. And then I could dig a bunch of deep trenches and then go and burn a whole bunch of stuff in them. And for the people that were like, if you're burning in there, you're killing the entire soil life. If you're burning in the hole, it's gonna be dead. Everything in there is gonna be so dead. And don't do it, it's dumb. Well, plants don't seem to care. It's growing like crazy, so. Trifecta comes from that other YouTube gardener who's overly excited. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's James Brigioni. Yes, I need a little dog. I don't have a little dog. My wife talks about getting a little dog, but I have a bunch of children. I don't need a dog. And besides, dogs like get in your plants and stuff. So let me show you this. I'm gonna I'll get a fish. I'll just have this fish like follow me around. So a friend of mine passed a sign for this place, Fish River Grill, and he says it was a remarkably attractive anthropomorphic fish, girl fish, and I got you this koozie for because you just have to have one of those. So yeah, pretty funny. So I'll just be like, well, I'm out in the garden today looking at my trifecta soil. I think, oh gosh, here's a delicious tomato off of my plant that's growing in the trifecta. Do you want one? Have one. Just put it in your mouth. Eat a little. You like to play guitar? Play the guitar with your mouth, And then, oh geez, yeah, I'm just gonna end thing. I could do that sort of thing. I don't know if it's gonna work though. I mean, it doesn't. There's that little dog he's got is cute. What's the name? Dog Tuck. I think Tuck is the dog's name. Yeah, auction the koozie. I'll sign it. I'll sign this anthropomorphic fish and I'll put it on eBay. I'll make an NFT out of it. I try to get, I'm not going to pick on anybody for like selling seeds or anything. That's great. They could sell seeds. The ad revenue on YouTube is like not a great primary income. It's good to have a secondary job like bossa nova singer or something like that. But if you could produce seeds, or if like you put links below your videos with affiliate links, like I do that. Hey, if people are gonna put my book up on Amazon, gosh, Amazon is like the biggest bookseller in the world. My books are on there already. I'll put the affiliate link to my book on there, and then you get like an extra few cents or something on the sale, like maybe 50 cents more. It's great. It's like you could almost go out and buy a pumpkin seed with that. But the cool thing that I sell is books. I'm a garden writer that ended up a YouTuber, so there you go. So I'm not gonna pick on anybody for selling stuff. It's yeah, sell. Pete Canaris, sell your plants. James, sell whatever you want to sell. Sell. Hey, what's this? There's a baby at my door knocking. Oh, M.I. Gardner. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm not as good at impersonating. One of these days I'll do a Scott Head impersonation, but not today. Is it too late to dig up and move 2-year-old fruit trees in Central Florida? No, probably not. Depends on how big they've grown. If they are temperate fruit, as in pears, apples, peaches, that kind of thing, best time to transplant those is when they are dead asleep. Asleep. So that means like winter, like move them in January, February. If they are citrus or other tropical trees, you may want to move them when there's a lot of rainfall coming down. So. Oh, Karen says, I have the same kind of dog like Tuck, a Yorkie, and yep, he loves the veggies in my garden, but he won't eat them until I pick them and give them to him. Oh, that's adorable. That is so cool. I have a little baby. That she follows me around the garden, and she will help herself to the blueberries. We went out and picked blueberries. I pick off the blue ones for her, and I give her some, and then she's like, I'm like, that's it. That's all the ripe ones. And if I'm not watching her, she'll come and she'll just like pull a fistful of little green berries and cram them in her mouth. She'll just eat all the green ones. She doesn't even care, Cameo. I don't know what Cameo is, John. Thank you very much for the super chat. I'll look it up. Cameo. What is that? I'm not on a lot of things other than coffee. Oh, videos featuring your favorite stars. I've never heard of this before. Huh. That I don't know about this. Looks kind of strange to me. But thank you, I appreciate it. I'll look it up. I'll read it. Little Kami thinks everything is hers. She knows her daddy loves her and will not deny her anything. You can have it. Help yourself to the garden. I do love it when she eats the I do love it when she eats the onion leaves. She likes to pick onion leaves. So and I don't know, little kids eating onion leaves is just funny to me. But she's grown up, all of my kids have grown up eating things out of the garden regularly. I mean, I'll tell you, you know what we did today? Like I said earlier, I've been trying to spend more time with the family. I've been going to the gym, and that consumes some time, and then I've been locking myself in. I'm working on a writing project right now. Like, I need another writing project. I have 2 books that are finished and waiting to be published, but I'm writing a 3rd one. The one I'm writing right now is a guide to South Florida gardening. For all of you South Florida gardeners, that's where I grew up, and I had somebody ask me, Kelly is her name. Kelly asked me if I would consider writing a crash course guide to South Florida gardening. I said, well, South Florida is different than the rest of Florida. I've already written books that cover the whole state, but like a guide just deliberately for the people that live in that zone 10, 11 south, very bottom of the state, which is a very different environment from the rest of the country. So I started writing that. I've been sitting there and writing that every day this week so far. So, but this afternoon, a few of my kids went out to hang out with their friends. Some of my older kids left with some friends to go hang out, and I just had my younger ones, like 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and I said, let's go wild plant foraging. And so we did. And we hiked all through the woods and through the neighbors' woods and through all these different pathways. And we found it's been really rainy lately. and we went mostly chanterelle hunting. Hey, Suze, you bet. Good to see you. Catch you next time. We found chanterelles growing in the woods. And I knew there was going to be some chanterelles, but we decided to go hunting to find more. I had spotted one out of my van when I was driving home from the gym earlier today. And it was like, there's this bright orange mushroom. I know I can eat that thing, but I didn't stop the car and get it. I went home and I thought, if there's one out there growing, there's probably some growing in our woods again, because I know there are some that grew in the fall. And so I said, let's go hunt chanterelles, kids. So we went and we hunted chanterelles, and I think we got close to a gallon's worth of chanterelles. They were everywhere, bright orange, yellow, delicious, wild mushrooms. We picked a whole bunch of them. And Rachel had told me about something she'd read from the Galloping Gourmet. And the Galloping Gourmet was somebody that she followed. I don't remember what the guy's name is, but because I don't pay any attention to cooking. But she had said, if you buy nice wild harvested mushrooms, which we don't have to buy them because we can find them, and you put them in the dehydrator, you can grind them up to powder and use that powder to flavor other things. And it will give this rich, umami, mushroomy flavor to other dishes. And these wild chanterelles taste really, really good. And this is the most that we have ever seen. Just crazy. Crazy amounts of them coming out. And usually, I mean, I'd be lucky if I pick a handful. This time it was handfuls. And so the kids and I spotted them all through the woods, and I'll be like, over there, over there, over there. Graham Kerr, that's who it is. Thank you, Rosehaven. And so we picked up a bunch of those. And as we were going, we also came across shiny blueberries, which are a small-leafed edible blueberry, very explosive, delicious blueberry flavor. We found some of those. Those come in before the rabbit eyes. Most of the rest of the ones we have are rabbit eye varieties, and those are not ready yet. We found 0 ready ones. And we found some really big, thick smilax shoots, which are really nice. They taste kind of like asparagus. They're a very good vegetable. And we also found some blackberries. We're kind of hitting the tail end of the blackberries / dewberries. So we probably went walking for an hour and a half or more, and picked up just a bunch of beautiful chanterelle mushrooms. And my wife has them in the dehydrator right now, which is really cool. Very fun. Yeah, Mike B says, everything moving slightly north into the Black Belt. Title, How to Grow in Less Challenging Soil. I'll tell you, it is tempting. But then it gets colder. I mean, I had ideal soil in the tropics. I had that volcanic clay loam. And it grew some incredibly beautiful gardens. If you look at my vertical gardening, the Permaculture Way video that I did, kind of borrowing off of Jeff Lawton's Establishing a Food Forest, the Permaculture Way. That is an incredibly beautiful garden. Everything grew well. It needed almost no feeding and very little care and very little watering, except in the dry season. It was incredible. Now I have really, really bad soil, but that's a blessing too, because as I experiment with it and I get things to grow in it, I can demonstrate poor conditions still growing food. So it's a test. I view it as a challenge, and I like the challenge of it. I don't like things to be super easy. I get bored. I like that the soil is about the worst. It's the worst that I've ever grown, and it's worse than what I was growing in Florida. But, you know, hey, it's a cool experiment. It's kind of fun. Right now we have plagues of cabbage moths. I was going to go spray Dipel. Dipel is natural. It's natural. It's from, it's BT. BT. I was going to go spray BT and I didn't get around to it. I should probably go spray them in the dark. I should probably do that right now because there were just hordes. There's hordes of cabbage moths. I've never seen them like this before. It's insane. And now I did harvest about a dozen cabbages today, and the cabbages were looking pretty good. But there's been a lot of you know, going around and picking them off and picking them off and picking them off and all that stuff. And Tammy says we found a big pawpaw grove in the middle of the woods. Hey, Tammy, would you send me pictures if you could find them out there and take pictures? I would love to see that and post about it. Just eat the mods, you cowards. That's hilarious. Hugh says 7B, our blackberries are blooming. Yeah, ours are, the fruits are about, our cultivated blackberries right now are still green, but the wild ones are finishing. They're almost done. Sean says, how hard would it be to get you to mail me some cuttings from those wild blueberries? I'd be willing to pay for shipping, all that jazz. It really depends on where you are if they're going to work, because the rabbit eyes have a limited range on where they grow. I mean, I could probably mail you some. I mean, drop me an email. But I don't know how well they would do. I'm thinking I might propagate some. If you could find rabbit eyes, these are just rabbit eyes. Rabbit eye blueberries. There are cultivated varieties, but there are wild ones everywhere here. 1010 Jen Friend says, know about agro-homeopathy. No, I do not. Rosehaven Farm says, saw some cabbage butterflies weeks ago. Then it froze again. Haven't seen any since. Wow. See, I love you members. This is why the members to this channel get the cool emojis. It's just hilarious. I don't know. The pink dinosaur, that's the Baphemus, by the way. One of these days I'm going to film the next Baphemus film. It's about time. I have not tried Chagati. I don't know what that is. I'd have to look it up. There's always another plant. Even I don't know all the plants. Thanks, Jess. Jessica Perry says, best channel ever. Jessica is my sister. Jessica, you're my favorite sister. Don't tell the other sisters. I have 5 sisters. They're probably watching. Jess, you're my favorite sister. Shh. Baphemus does Alabama. I'll just call it Crimson Tide. When a cryptozoological creature climbs out of the Gulf, a bloody rampage ensues in Crimson Tide. Yeah, I need to do so. There's a swamp here, and I think it would be great for some Baphemus, some Baphemus footage. I think I better go spray those cabbages. I'm gonna try and do more of these. I should be doing more of these. Oh, good job with the thistle. Those are very good for you, Deb. Good find. The target cross is St. Pacenti's cross. It's kind of cool, huh? Anyhow, guys, if you're exceedingly bored with life, remember that I have like 1,000 videos on my channel. You could go back and watch back to the point where I was didn't have any idea what I was doing on YouTube, and it's kind of interesting. There's still some funny stuff in there. There's one video. My presentation's not as good, but there's this one video where I give a tour through the food forest, and then at the end, at one point I get attacked by a teddy bear, and then at the end the bear appears again, and I grab a machine gun and machine gun the teddy bear. So my cousin knew how to do special effects, and it's awesome. So if you've never seen that, it's beautiful. Mike says, regarding crummy soil, Baldwin County, I think the clay and char amendment is really on target. The clay almost seems like a below ground raised bed container, if that makes sense. Yeah, I do too. Sean says the water chestnut video was great. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I found out that YouTube is finally going to send me a silver play button. I was supposed to get one 9 months ago, but I think that, I don't know if I was too weird for YouTube, but like they reviewed the channel and they decided to skip it. But I finally wrote them and talked to tech support. And I talked to this really nice lady in tech support, Maxine. Thank you very much, Maxine. And Maxine sent me over to the review board, and then like some ominous days went by and I heard nothing, and then suddenly they said, "You've been approved. We will, you know, here's your coupon. You can redeem it and you'll get your silver play button." So I'm going to get a silver play button. It says David the Good on it. I made it. I've arrived. So I can basically dig a hole and bury myself with a shark now. So. No, she's not my only sister. I have 5 sisters. Rachel, Linda, Christy, Steffi, and Jess. And they're all amazing. Somewhere I had a picture of me with all 5 girls, and they are pretty girls. They're pretty girls. And it just makes me look like better to be surrounded by pretty girls, even if they are my sisters. It's just like, it's kind of a good framing for like a very masculine person like myself to just stand in the middle and be like, you know, because girls that are not my sisters actually won't stand next to me, but don't tell anybody about that. I have a hen named Maxine. I don't think, does your hen work for YouTube, Tammy? Kind of cool. Don't throw a Terrapreda on top of me. That's right. Yeah, I have the only one named Jessica. There you go. Okay, I get it. That's right. It's funny. Yes. Yeah, yes, Sean. Good question, Sean. If I married David the Good Sister, think I could get free gardening advice all the time? I would marry David the Good Sister. So, anyhow, babe, what do you think your brother thinks about this cultivar? I don't know. Why are you always talking about my brother? Well, guys, I think we should do a closing song. Jeremy, late as always. Oh my gosh, I said I'm going to do a closing song and Jeremy shows up. That's hilarious. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, Jeremy, buddy. Here we go. I have to play the song because I have to go out and kill the caterpillars in my garden in the dark. So I'll go fill the pump sprayer up with BT and have one of the kids hold a light for me. And I'll be out there. I'll be the weird neighbor. It's going to be great. I'll be the weird neighbor. At least it's nice and cool out right now. There's a truck in my field. There is a truck. On the back is a thing. Yeah, a thing that's on the back. It's that thing on the back of the truck that's in my field. It's a lime bucket, lime. What's the thing on the back of the truck in my field? It's a lime bucket, lime. A lime I hope. Are you guys crying now? I hope that it's a very emotional song. This song was so. It means a lot. So. Yeah, I found out that I talk like a Yankee. I was informed by a young man that I sound like a Yankee because I said shopping cart. Not a shopping cart. It's a buggy. Grocery buggy, shopping buggy. It's a buggy. Not a cart. That's where you get in trouble. That's how we can tell you're a Yankee. Like, I'm not a Yankee. I'm from Florida. I mean, come on. Yeah, you mook. I'm from Florida. What's the matter with you? Hey, man, my whole family's from New Jersey. Florida, New Jersey and Florida. South Florida, New Jersey. That's how you get in trouble. Not no shopping cart, it's a shopping buggy. Kim, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm from Florida. My you know what's funny? The heartbreak of spider mites. Make a song about the heartbreak of suffering under webbing, suffering under webbing and a million tiny bites, heartbreak of spider mites. You don't know pain until you've seen the heartbreak of spider mites, millions of tiny bites, webbing in the night. See how they hide from the spray. Heartbreak of spider mites. Someday, I'll write a song about the heartbreak of spider mites. Here we go. Scott says I need a few beers and a good cry after this one. Spider mites are horrible. Anyhow, you guys have a great night. Thank you to all of my members. And thank you to Karen for the super chat. And let me see, I don't want to miss 1 second. And also to John. John, who said I should join Cameo, which I need to do. Apparently. Y'all know better than I do. I'm just a bossa nova singer who ended up a writer, who ended up a YouTuber. So, doing my best, one day at a time. I'll try to stream again soon, and have a good night, everybody. I'm gonna go out in the dark and try to contain the carnage. So, thank you everybody for showing up tonight. It was a lot of fun. God bless you all. Go out there and do some gardening if it's warm enough for you. And if it's too hot, drink some lemonade. Catch you next time. I got a new video coming out tomorrow. Watch for it. Until then, may your thumbs always be green.